Dude. It's just going to be some BvR dueling. We're going to be looking at kind of what the R77 can do versus the AIM 120. See if there's really any kind of cook as far as the beyond visual range engagement criteria goes. And this is just kind of like the standard start that I like to do is Afghanistan runway start, both sides. That way, both players can use the performance of the plane, climb up, do the whole radar searching thing. Not starting the duel at like basically like point blank range, like you're gonna see in a few other videos that people like to do about this kind of thing. Biggest thing with the F-16 versus the 29 SMT is the 29 SMT has a worse missile in the form of the R-77, but it also has a better radar gimbal limit, which means it can slew itself left and right further. I don't think it goes as far down. I think it has 60 degrees up and 45 down. But overall, SMT radar, in theory, might be able to bridge the gap because when I shoot my missile and when he shoots his missile, I should have to turn right or left 60 degrees, and he can basically turn right or left. Um, well, it's a 170-degree gimbal limit, so I think that's 85. I'll call it 85. I think that's the way math works. So he should have a very low closure rate, and we should have a relatively high one of basically I'll be flying at his missiles. But just to start out, I'm going to start more or less going defensive because I'm just trying to get rid of all of his missiles and make it so that he just has nothing left. Because if we do get to the merge and if he carried nothing but R-77s, I mean it's an SMT. Like the plane is kind of dog shit at dogfighting. He gets the first missile off. We got an R-77 here. This is missile number one, and we're just going to turn away from it. And this is already going basically below Mach. In reality, we could have just pointed the nose at him and more or less just went right or left and probably been fine. But he's got an offensive position. This is what he's doing. He's just using his missiles to push me, using his missiles to get closer to me. And it basically cut off my ability to push into him. We turn in, we shoot a missile, and this one's going Mach 1.2. We get a third missile out. We're going to turn underneath this one. This one distance is only 8 kilometers from us. This one's 11. And I think it's going to be the next missile that hits us. It might be this one. This one might sleep itself into us, but I don't think so. These kind of look like they're trashed. This one here, I think, is the kill shot. We're trying to counterattack, but as we try to counterattack, there's too many missiles in the air, so I don't actually get a lock on them, so I'm not really able to press them. This one here, I think that's the one that hits. No, I think it's going to be this one. So this is like the basically one of the last ones that comes out. Nope, it's that one. It's the very last one. Like this is the very last one that actually was fired. So we're doing this at 2 times speed because I mean it's 6 minutes in. That'd be really tedious to watch. We'll speed this up just to get off the runway and get to altitude because all the starts are basically the same. But it's still important to like program this in just because it can show the differences in the radars and kind of like the margin of error. He's doing the same thing. He's going off to the side. He gets the first missile off. This should be a pretty big advantage. We have missiles that are kinematically similar and plane performances are similar. It's like first shot should be a pretty respectable advantage. His missiles are going 1.5 Mach. Distance from me is 17 kilometers. I get 2 off. He's already low. He's trying to take my missiles low so that he has to shoot up from thicker air. I'm shooting down from thinner air, so my missile should have a little bit of an advantage over his. And this is what we're doing. We're just doing the side to side and the downy downs. And oh, that one's gone. And that one's gone. And we in the background we killed him. So we shot 2 missiles and he died. And so we get an authentic BvR kill. Speed her up again. Yeah, it really is the same thing. F-16 climbs better, accelerates better, just kind of does everything performance-wise more or less better. We get our first shot off probably about 2 to 3 seconds before he gets his off. But the thing is, my missile has viability. Like, we look at here, kind of like at the same kind of maneuvers. My missile, I lofted it. It's going Mach 2.5. This one's going Mach 1.76. This is basically like 3/4 Mach over, like, over the speed of the R-77. And I launched mine first. He launched his second. So like, which one is better? I don't know. I can't tell. They cross over each other. Like they cross over. My missile's going Mach 2, and his is almost down to 1. This one that I just launched is Mach 3.5. His is 2.5. Now he's launching up from thicker air, which is gonna make his missile a little bit worse off. And I'm timing my launches so that I can like lift the nose, loft the missile, and shoot it up into the sky, which is, I mean, technically what you're supposed to do, but we don't have a dynamic launch zone on the HUD, so we don't really get to see that. And slow her down to 1 because we got too much shit in the air right now. It's hard to tell. So this one here, Mach point 0.6, that's trashed, trash, trash, probably trash. And we get another one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 missiles in the air. Let's see if any of these are able to do anything. Our missile, the 2 that we fired have been defeated. But now what we have to do is we have to like turn in and try not to fly into any of these missiles. And I think that these are not going to hit. Kind of look at the distances because TacView has this thing where it renders them really big, so it means that like depth perception is kind of a bitch. But this one is 7.5 kilometers away, 8 kilometers, 15. This one's 12. This one's 12, so this one's probably the viable one. This one might be the one that might be able to kill us. And we get the 6th one off. And let's see what happens. We turn away. And we're doing the duty doos. And, well, this one's flying like at prop speeds, actual jet speed-ish, and prop speeds. So let's see if we fly into any of these. All these missiles are basically fucking trash. They're not even, like, literally not even tracking. Let's see if any of these go. So now we pretty much just survive the barrage, and now we're just going to spam ours at them. And shoot 2 off, because why not? And this is a mistake here. I didn't need to turn away at all. I shouldn't have turned away. Just because, like, I shouldn't have to try to reacquire. And he goes what looks like into multipath to get rid of those. And we turn back in and we find him again. And we shoot a missile. And this should be the one that hits. If it isn't, it's because he's gonna chaff and multipath it. Yeah, you kind of see that it just went into multipath. Turn back in. We've defeated all the missiles, but he shoots another one because we have respawning missiles turned on, and multipath eats it again. And we get to the merge because he has respawning missiles. So shot all those missiles, and all of them did nothing. I lose sight here. And I'm going to basically fly through his guns. Didn't need to have the air brake on for as long as I did. And I find him, and then this like turn reverse layer. This is a really, like, this is stupid. I'm like literally just flying in front of his guns. But I mean, it's an SMT. That, and he's not a hitter. And I literally just fly through the guns. And maybe he gets a over the top shot here. But wow, I bet he wishes he had R73s right now, because the R77s were not it. And we get the R77 off. We just chaff the shit out of it. You just spam the fuck out of your chaffing flares, and especially from rear side aspect at close ranges a lot of times. If these missiles are already slow, they just won't hit. We go up, and yeah, AMRAAM Brain Rot has made trajectory bad, but I mean, we're just gonna go up. Like, what's he gonna do? Oh, we got the R77 off. Is it gonna hit? Nope. And he's in an SMT. I should cut the throttle here, and I should just like zero throttle on the way down, but I don't. Kind of an L. Do the flat spin, and he gets a shot here, but because he's a sim player, sim players are not hitters, so we're safe. Like, and this just kind of shows, like, really doesn't really show anything, to be honest. Doesn't show jack shit, because like just flying in front of his guns, and if you could aim, he'd be good. But guess what? You're not getting any aim practice in Sim EC anymore. So your skill sets are bad. And we get in the flat rate, and he just like bails out because Engie. And we go on to the next one. So that round, all the BvR missiles didn't do the BvR thing. No, no real BvR kill there. We get one for the SMT in the start, just by me playing completely defensively, like a really as a moron, just to see what would happen. And we're gonna do the same thing, speed her up. And I think this is one. There's one of these where I end up shooting at the wrong aircraft. He goes low, I go high. First R77's off. Replay's not picking up the information from it yet, but it's Mach 1.2. The first one that I fired is at Mach 2 point whatever, so I mean it's basically like almost twice as fast. Um, let's look at the distances traveled, see if that actually kind of tells us anything. So I think so as this distance here is going up, I think this just means that it's gone away from me, and I think we got a ding. I don't think we got the kill, but we're doing the wibbly woo. We're doing the notching, the chaffing, and the thingamajiggers. And let's look at what we got here. This one's just going off into space. This one's at Mach 0.6, Mach 0.3. This one's also at Mach 0.6. So I think this is the very first missile I shot. Let's see how many we actually have on the pylon. So 1, 2, 3 missiles out. So that might be the second missile. Because I think the first one already hit the ground. So this missile that I just shot here, this is a bad launch. Like it's going out and having to turn in, and it's gonna bleed energy, in order to get like a good track. But I mean, it's on target. And it's going Mach 3. So like, I don't think it actually matters. And we're gonna look at this, and we're gonna look at these missiles again because it's really easy to lose track of what's going on. This one here is 2 kilometers. This one could hit us. Does it have the speed too? It's Mach 0.7, but maybe the angle is correct. So let's see if it hits. Yeah, no, that's not fucking hitting. That one's not gonna hit. We're getting hit by a Mach 0.9. It's not gonna do shit. And I think this is where I kind of like make the mistake, maybe. No, we just shoot this one point blank. He's out of missiles. And this one should connect. And it does. Wow. Exciting gameplay. All these other missiles, they're all trashed. Like, they're not doing shit. Get the TAC view back up. We go fast. This is peak gameplay right here. So we notice he's skidding off to the side. We get our first missile off. He gets his off. Same thing. You're going to see the same thing over and over again. He can't go to high altitude like I can. Really, this missile here, like, he doesn't even need to shoot it. Like, this missile is trash. It's not going to hit anything. It's literally just there to give me something to look at on my RWR to maybe hopefully make me turn around so that he can snake his way through the terrain and get close to me. His missile, Mach 0.8. My first one, 1.36. The second one coming in. Yeah, we're just gonna dive below him because we get the first 2 missiles off, and like there's no need for me to loiter at high altitude, to defeat these. Turn off. We'll turn it down to 1. It is Mach 0.4. Let's see if any of these hit. No, not happening. Not today, Junior. And this is a bad situation for me because what I should do is I should add altitude to try to stay above him to keep him pressed and keep him in the radar search pattern. This is where I pick up a new target, and it's going to be an L. I'm going to shoot at this plane here because I think that this is him for whatever reason. Probably because it's going about the same speed because he's going 600 knots, and this is probably also going well less than 600. It's probably about 450. But we determine that that's the wrong guy, and we're going to turn in. And because he snuck in through the terrain, so basically he came through these valleys here and just kind of like hugged here, and he got to here. So he gets lucky with this, and we eat the missile. This one, let's see if this one's going to track. Does gray out for some reason, and he does get into the notch, and you can see the chaff comes out here. So he actually does manage to pull this off. This is like a pretty good counter launch, and this is kind of like the way you play an EC. Is like really the R77. You have to use it to counter launch. You can't really. You're not doing anything with it in actual beyond visual range terms. But this missile here was viable. Smart move. Turns in chaffs. We go next. Speed it up again. Boopity 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 boop. Wow, we get the one. We lofted that real hard. Lofted it real good. And I think one of the things to keep in mind here is like as you watch these is I'm using less of my missiles because I realize that like these missiles are junk. They're not really going to do anything, so I can pretty much just ignore that first one for sure. He's still trying to set himself up at low altitude, and as he turns, like his plane can't build energy. The SMT does not build energy well, so it means that he's taking an already trash missile, making it worse, and he's more or less kind of forced to get as close as he can. He's trying to get as close to shoot like one point blank, and that's more or less what he's trying to do. Kind of results in kind of forcing a trade. Um, and because R77's like I'm just not going to go defensive. I'm just not going to. There is almost no reason for me to. This one, let's see if it gets close. It gets within 2 kilometers, and oh no, that it ain't doing shit. Same thing. This is 1.5. This thing's fucking falling out of the sky. Ours is just kind of like chasing him down. He's just kind of getting worn down. Radar gimbal limit is not going to make up for the fact that these missiles are trash. They're crap. We fly to the side. Like, just look at our missile picture right now. So we got this one's trash. We got one that went behind us. It's kind of de-rendered, despawned. We got one out. This is overlapping. Can't tell what it's doing. This one's trash. This one's below Mach. And I got a Mach 3 missile. So let's see what happens. He's doing the same thing. He's sticking to the terrain, trying to go defensive, defeat the first missiles, snake in through the terrain to get closer. And this is pretty much the point where I'm like, okay, cool. Our RWR probably is going off all over the place. This one's behind me. That's not going to hit. This one, definitely not going to hit. So we finally get a new one. And he gets pushed back. And this is kind of the position you don't want to be in against the F-16 or in any plane is just getting pushed backwards because I'm looking at the radar, waiting for him to turn in, waiting for him to pop up, and boom, we get the head-on shot. And we're going to turn out basically the opposite direction of his turn because the idea is that as we turn opposite, we're increasing the distances missile has traveled. We're also increasing the amount of time that he has to spend looking at his radar to pick us up. Because instead of flying into his radar cone by turning left, we're going to try to fly out of the radar cone by turning right. Not so big of a deal with the SMT because you have the Goog radar, and he hugs the terrain here. He's kind of like just above it. This missile, big scary. Mine still faster. Let's see if we do anything. He just gets hit. And this is going to be a trade because I shouldn't turn back into this. I should have heard the ding. And instead of turning into this, I should have just went, oh, cool, target, ding, turn right, chaff, and go away. But at this point, I'm considering this like pretty much one. And yeah, cool. We traded. Yeah, we speed her up again. I had a yawn. I get a little stretch in. Speed her up again. Mach 1.1 climb, 1.05, 1. Whatever the fuck. We get the first missile off. And you can already see that he's kind of transitioned from doing the high altitude thing and trying to like actually do proper BvR to terrain masking and trying to get in close. And as these go on, I start playing just a little bit more aggressively because I'm like, well, these aren't hitting. And I start spamming more of my missiles. I already got 4 of them out. This is already trashed. And we're just overwhelming him at this point. And he's snaking through the terrain. And one of the things that I could do to try to circumvent this is probably go up and probably do like a cold turn in here where I'd like go back towards my mountains for like once because eventually he's going to have to turn around to avoid these missiles or he's just going to fly into them, which I mean, that's what happened there. He came around the mountain and peekaboo, you died. And I wasn't gonna do all of these duels, but I'm just gonna upload the whole damn thing. Do the whole shebang because I'm already on a roll. It's the 4th of July, and we're not putting a lot of effort into this. I'm just trying to show something that's like almost halfway informative. Get up to the first missile launch, and now we're doing kind of like a mirror strategy. I'm trying to angle my plane so that I can be kind of over here because he likes to run up these mountains here. So I'm trying to cut off that path. Let's look at this missile. Oh, look, it's Mach 0.6. It's trash. And we're in the same situation before where he has, if we go to low altitude, or medium altitude in this case, this is 5,000 meters with Afghanistan, so it's kind of about 3,000 AGL. But because we have a low angle, he can actually like hide behind the mountain here because like we have the angles. If we're up higher, it'll be easier to look down, but at the same time, it'll be a little bit harder to defeat the counter launches because we really don't want to give the missile like clear blue sky background to shoot at us. And same thing. This missile, he defeats it, gets within the point blank range, and dink. Missile looks like it wins the fight for us. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe he survived that. Maybe that went into multipath, but did hear the dink. So let's see if we heard the bell. Did we hear the bell? He's on fire, and you just verify that too. Yeah, he's on fire. This is a mauled missile. So he gets in, he gets close enough, he gets the mauled missile off. Avionics don't get destroyed. Good luck. But I mean, I still consider that's kind of pretty much a W. He's not able to contest like BvR. He's not able to contest the range game. Like it's not even close. It's not like a wow. You get a smart launch in. You get the target first. Like there is no advantages that the SMT has that it actually is able to consistently like leverage against the F-16. The SU-27 is going to be even worse, by the way, because the target reacquisition time on the radar is just like it is absolutely horrendously dog shit. The only potential that he has for contesting the ranged game is the R-27ER. But even in testing, it can sort of work, or it works on the 27 because the 27 can get up high. But really, the travel time difference between like an AMRAAM versus a R-27ER in like straight line at high altitude is like about 4 seconds. So the F-16 getting the launch off like 4 seconds sooner pretty much just negates all the advantages the R-27ER has without even like turning away and going cold. Once you program like one cold turn in there to like basically defeat the R-27ER and increase the distance, where you turn away and go cold as soon as like your second missile goes pitbull, you're fine. I think I just hit the wrong button. Okay, good. It did not register, but this missile not gonna hit us. Let's look at the other ones that are up. 9.6. This one's fresh. This one's fresh. Let's see if he's got it in the sauce. But all the missiles that I'm going to shoot are going to have more energy. They're going to have more energy from this point. Like, he has to hide in the terrain. And I'm pretty sure I've gone completely cold. Or at least I've gone cold enough that I don't have him in my radar scope, so I have to reacquire him. And because we lost track of him, he's able to actually push us like pretty freely. We don't have any missiles up, which is kind of an L, but we turn in and we pick him up again. We're gonna shoot one, start notching, start chaffing, and we're gonna go cold to this is a Mach 1.1 missile. See if we can get away from it. And it's at we're already going faster than it. See if the second one comes out, and let's see if this one might have a chance. This one might have a chance, and it's gone. And we're back in the same situation. We're both hiding behind the mountains, behind the two, and he shot more missiles than I have. I have 2 left. So when it comes to economy of force, kind of winning here. This might be one of those duels where we both fly past each other and just don't realize it. And sure enough, I'm going to push past him. He's going to push past me. But really the question is, at this point, is like, well, who realizes who did what first? Now, in theory, if we don't have the respawning missiles, and he doesn't have... He might have 1 missile for counterplay, in theory. But because they're all going to respawn, it's got a little bit of a chance. We push down here, and I don't really have a problem pushing further away from him, just because the further I get away, the more I maximize the distance, the more time I can spend searching on the radar, the more likely it is that I just have like the window of opportunity to defeat like whatever missile he shoots. Like I just don't want him to be able to shoot at a range close enough to actually hit me. This is called the minimum abort range, the MAR, or the no escape zone, the NES. Now, the NES and the MAR are 2 different things, but nobody fucking cares. Does not matter. We turn in, we get our missile off, we get the first one, and see if he gets anything out of it. And this missile lofts. And as far as I can tell, I don't see the red tracer mark, so it looks like he's behind terrain. IOG seems like it's just gonna do its thing. And he shoots a missile at our missile. And we shoot a missile at his missile. And critical speed. And at this point, we fucked up. Because he came in with his respawning missiles. And I thought we weren't playing the respawning missile game. So I saved basically my 2. I shot my 2. And because I have nothing to counter launch, I fly into this one. And I think that's the last one. Pretty sure that's pretty sure that should be it. We'll just fast forward and make sure nothing else goes on. Overall, though, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that you can see that, like, from a BvR perspective, the R77 is just not it. Anyways, that's gonna be the video. That's kind of a wrap up.